And then we also have some potential severe weather coming in this evening. Chief Meteorologist, this is a look at the No Kings protests. As you can see, people are already gathered out there. It started at 11 a.m. We are going to be on this all day. We have a crew out there and a reporter who's going to give us a live look in just a moment. But like I said, we have severe weather coming in this evening. Chief Meteorologist Trevor Burchett joins us now with the timeline. Trevor.
We have a weather impact alert for later this evening and tonight. That's when we expect a round of showers and storms. We are nice and dry right now. It's going to be after the sun goes down that we really see these storms pick up. Some of those could produce some heavy rain and a couple of storms. They could be a little bit stronger. I'm not expecting a widespread severe weather situation tonight. For most of us, we're going to see a round of heavy rain, some loud thunder, maybe a good wind gust or two. But there could be a couple of thunderstorms that do get a little stronger. In that case, some storms could produce wind gusts of 50 to 60 miles an hour, and also some heavy rain that could lead to a little bit of flooding on the roadways. Thankfully, with this setup, I'm not overly concerned about tornadoes. This is getting into our secondary severe weather season, though. I can't ever completely rule anything out, but I think the tornado potential is very low for this evening and tonight. Hail potential also pretty low. So we're starting out mostly sunny this morning, a few clouds here or there. Going to be warm this afternoon, mid 80s. You'll notice some more clouds moving in through the day, but notice that the rain chances really don't go up until after sunset. So if you have any plans through the day today, get out and enjoy it. It looks great. Just be aware, once the sun goes down, that's when we'll start to see those thunderstorms roll on in. Also going to be a little bit of breezy ahead of those storms. Winds out of the southwest, 15 to 20 miles an hour. So again, most of the day dry. I think even through dinner time, many of us are dry. Once the sun goes down, though, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, that's when we'll really start to see those storms move in. So again, nice and clear this morning. We'll see a clear sky for the most part through about 3 o'clock. Still nothing on the radar by then. Notice, though, by dinner time, 6 p.m., this line of thunderstorms starts to move in from Arkansas. That gets a little closer to us by 8 p.m., just getting into eastern Arkansas at that point. And I expect this line of storms to be crossing the river by 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock tonight. So Memphis, North Mississippi, West Tennessee, we'll start to see those storms closer to 9 p.m. and then moving through West Tennessee and North Mississippi closer to 10 o'clock. Heads up for Oxford, it's going to be a busy night on the square. So if you are going to be out there later tonight, about 10 or 11 o'clock, just be aware, heavy rain, some gusty wind and thunder coming through. It does look like by midnight, though, in general, this starts to clear out, and certainly by tomorrow morning, radar going to be nice and clear. We'll be back to the sunshine for Sunday, much cooler weather as well. Going to be a little breezy today ahead of those storms, 20 to 25 mile an hour gusts. Again, those could be a little stronger with the actual storms coming in. Then we're going to see the winds switch direction. Once that cold front comes through tonight, winds will be out of the north, and they'll stay breezy tomorrow. Gusts tomorrow morning, they could also be as high as 25 or 30 miles an hour. And that's going to bring in some much cooler weather. We'll get to about 86 this afternoon before the storms hit. And then tomorrow, even with the sunshine, high temperature of only 68 degrees. Look at this, 67 in Blytheville tomorrow, 69 in Marianna and Helena, West Helena. We'll get to 68 in Hernando, 66 your high temperature tomorrow in Ripley and Corinth. We'll top out at 65 in Selmer, 66 in Dyersburg. Everybody enjoying some sunshine tomorrow. Tomorrow night, though, got to be a little chilly. I hear a couple of heaters clicking on already. Monday morning, these are your wake-up temperatures. Monday morning, down to 48 in Memphis. Other spots colder than that. 40 your low in Bolivar, 41 in Oxford. Wouldn't be surprised for a couple of neighborhoods to flirt with those upper 30s. Again, that's tomorrow night into Monday morning. Overall temperatures stay below average. We've been talking about how warm it's been and how temperatures have been above average lately. Now we're going back below average. Highs in the 60s and 70s. That'll be nice for the next 7 days. Overall, rain chance is pretty low. I'm going to watch next Friday. There could be a couple of sprinkles then, but I don't expect any major storm systems for the next 7 days. So again, today, most of the day is dry. Get out and enjoy it. From now through sunset, nothing to worry about. Once the sun goes down, storms will start to approach. And that's why we're giving you that weather impact alert. You're going to be impacted by the rain if you're out by 7, 8, 9 o'clock tonight. Heavy rain, downpours, thunder and lightning, maybe some high wind gusts as well. Again, that's tonight into the early morning hours of Sunday. But by the time most of us wake up, 6 a.m., this is out of here. Sunshine, 68 tomorrow, a little breezy. It's going to be a little chilly, honestly. Beautiful weather through the week. Sunshine, low to mid 70s for your highs. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, lows in the 40s and 50s. And again, no other major storm systems on the way after tonight, but a slight chance of showers on Friday. Remember, you can stay updated with us through the day right here on ABC 24 Plus. For extended weather updates, you can stream us throughout the day. That's on your smart TV, Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV. You can also find us on your cell phone. Just search ABC 24.
Well, Americans across the country, including right here in Memphis, are coming together to protest the Trump administration with the intention of sending a message that America does not have a king and the power belongs to the people. Now, we were there in mid-June for the first No Kings rally on Poplar and Highland. Indivisible Tennessee organized the demonstration. Protesters told us that at the time they were rallying against the Trump administration's overreach, which included deploying the military to U.S. cities. That was months before the National Guard deployment became a reality here in the Bluff City. Activists also told us they were concerned about immigration, which impacts several communities.
There is nothing more American than saying that we don't have kings and exercising our right to peaceful protest. America doesn't have kings. That's our entire point.
Now, that became the largest single-day protest movement since President Donald Trump took office. Organizers staged these national protests on the same day that President Trump held a large military parade in Washington, D.C., celebrating the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army. That was also his 79th birthday. Thousands of military men and women marched through the center of the nation's capital. Fighter jets also flew above while tanks rolled on the streets. The price tag of the event topped $45 million. Now, right now, people are going back to that same spot where the group gathered in June here in Memphis for the No Kings Day of Action. Several elected leaders are expected to speak today. That includes Shelby County District Attorney Steve Mulroy, General Sessions Court Clerk Tammy Sawyer, City Councilwoman Jerry Green, who's also running for governor, and State Representative Justin Pearson, who announced that he is going for the congressional 9th District seat where Congressman Steve Cohen currently sits. Now, there are also representatives from the Latino community, and there's a group called Moms for Gaza that is going to be here as well. ABC 24's Shakina Davis is live at the Poplar Avenue and South Highland area, the green space where the rally is just getting started. If we can, Shakina, can you give us a look at what is happening out there now?
Would it be legit?
Hello? You're all we're in?
Oh, yes. We're live here on Poplar in South Highland, where there is a No Kings protest happening right now. As you can see behind me, thousands of people decide to come out today to basically raise awareness and just spread their opinions on what they're experiencing here in Memphis, across the nation. There's thousands, millions actually gathering across the country right now to just protest against what they believe.
You're not hearing anything? You got it? Can you hear it? Okay, sorry, do it again.
Bring it back.
Yes, and as I said, there are a lot of
Okay, we're going to touch base with Shakina. It sounds like she can't quite hear us too clearly there. But as you can see, there's a lot of people in the street showing up. This started at 11. It's expected to go till 3 p.m. In June, 5 million Americans participated 4 months ago, back in mid-June, as we said, and that was across the country. And there's actually 2,500 protests set up today across the country as well. So Memphis is just one of many. And as you can see, people got out there early and set up shop. And this is going to go on until 3 p.m. We're going to go back to Shakina, but we're going to take a look at some of the other protests going on around the country if we can. Here is D.C. As you can see, people are flooding the streets there, and it's obviously going to be a big one, as Washington, D.C. is the nation's capital. They are protesting against authoritarian power and military occupation. And this is about 5 million people participated in the last protest. And here, this is in D.C., where there's going to be 2,500 separate marches and rallies taking place across the country. Let's get a look at another No Kings rally going on today as well. In other areas of the country, we have live shots all tapped into our sister stations across the country that we're working to get those looks for you. But we will go back to Shakina, who is live on Poplar in South Highland at the look in Memphis, as people are now getting out on the street. You saw there was a ton of people behind her. She said that it looked like there may have been thousands out there, certainly hundreds. This is also doubling as a supply drive that benefits the Collective Good Immigrant Pantry. So people are asked to bring some donations. But yes, let's go back to Shakina. Shakina, if you can hear us now.
On South Highland Street and Poplar, we were able to speak to a couple protesters today just to express why they decide to come out and why they believe this is so important to them. I have one protester here. If you'd like to tell us your name again.
I'm Elizabeth. We're here protesting for all the injustices happening in Memphis. Here we are as a community, brothers and sisters, gathered to fight for a change, to fight for a different country, to fight for a better country.
And why do you believe that's so important?
This is so important because this is going to affect future generations. It's going to affect us in the years to come. We see a lot of elderly people here continuing to fight every day for change, and we're here just doing the same, following in their footsteps.
And what kind of changes are you hoping to see?
I hope to see less racism, for one. I hope to see equal opportunities for everybody, no matter your class, your age, the way you look, any type of, appearance you have that may not look like, our current president.
And what do you have to say to even younger people like yourself that are just out here protesting?
I would like to say that we should continue to fight for change. Don't be scared to speak up. We are all here united. We are watching over each other, and we are all proud of one another for coming out and using our voice.
And there you have it. Many people are having their own viewpoints on this, their own specific reasonings for why they're here today. They said that it's a continuous fight that they won't stop until change is actually made. Here in Memphis on South Highland Street and Poplar, I'm Shakina Davis. Back to you.
We will have you go back and talk to more people as you continue reporting for us out there. And we are going to continue having a live look all day. This is until 3 p.m. Stick with ABC 24 and 24 Plus for updates on this No Kings protest. For now, I'm Pepper Baker. Thank you for watching.
Citizens, oh citizens, quit cognitive dissonance. We stand at the precipice of a practicing fascist government. Oh government, made up of citizens. We have slight differences, but we know you're grimacing at this cruel governor. Oh governor, who are your constituents? Who holds the power? Your term is expiring. Who honors morals? Our people are rising. Who breeds more violence? It's the bill and the trumpet. Oh, president, you don't fit the title. Out with this terrorist, out with terrorizers from Gaza to Memphis, West Bank, Binghamton, out with ICE and the IDF. ICE has sieged Memphis now, the place I was born and raised. IDF has sieged Palestine since, where my ancestors lay to this day. And I've seen that occupation, where there's a base atop my village mound, where soldiers break in and kidnapping our children's and stomping our elders to the ground. That is an occupation. Here is an occupation, a tyrannical situation. ICE and the IDF are one and the same. From this siege on Memphis to the siege on Gaza, we got to start facing these oppressors and racists. Out with these ICE and out with these troops. Paid for by who? Paid for by you and you and you. We demand that our dollars, millions of dollars, be for opportunity, invested in community, garnering our unity. And yes, crime is a problem, but it needs proper scrutiny. So please have some compassion for you and me, can't you see? So hear me out, listen clear. First they came for Tyree, and I remained silent. Then they came for Jose, and I remained silent. Then they came for Saleh, and I remained silent. Then they'll come for all of us with no one left to speak for us. So people, oh people, stand up and speak out. Powers to the people. From South Africa to the 901, power is to us true. Or as they say in Johannesburg, Amandla Awethu. Say it with me. Amandla means power, Awethu means to us. So say it with me.
Thank you for joining us on 24 Plus for this breaking news. I'm Pepper Baker. We are covering the No Kings protest. It is a nationwide protest, and it's happening here in Memphis on Poplar and South Highland. This is to protest the authoritarian power and military occupation, particularly with the Trump administration. So you can see hundreds, if not thousands, are out on Poplar and South Highland around East Memphis. And we know that elected leaders are expected to take the stage right now. Local activists and community group leaders are speaking in front of the public here. Some other speakers that will be taking the stage later on are Shelby County District Attorney Steve Mulroy, General Sessions Court Clerk Tammy Sawyer, City Councilwoman Jerry Green, as well as Representative Justin Pearson are all expected to speak today. We're going to listen in now. These are, again, community groups and local activists speaking to the public. So we're going to sit on this and listen in to hear what they have to say.
In case of an emergency, please don't just take it and stick it in your pocket. Please make sure you read it, because we've come up with these plans to keep everybody safe, and we are just doing our best, but we're going to need all of y'all to help us keep everybody and your neighbors safe today. Also, if you post on social media today with any pictures, please use hashtag #NoKingsMemphis so the entire country knows what Memphis is standing for today. So I'm going to introduce the MC of today. I am proud to call this lady my friend. She has been in the community raising hell since 2020. She's the one that if somebody's going to call somebody out for it, she's going to be the one to say it. She's not afraid to speak what's the truth, and she speaks it wherever she goes. Whether it's standing up for Tyree Nichols, say his name, or on the streets with us fighting against this occupation. We are very proud to have her MC our event today, so I will introduce Miss LJ Abraham.
Welcome everybody. I am so excited to be here today, and I'm so excited to see everybody show up and stand up against fascism. So I just wanted to say welcome. We're going to get started here today. Give me 1 second. With just our opening remarks. So today, we gather in the heart of Memphis, a city that has always stood on the front lines of justice, to say what generations before us have already proven. America has no kings. Across the country and right here at home, people are rising up against corruption, cruelty, authoritarian power. Here we are to remind those in office from Washington to Nashville that the power in this country does not belong to one man or one party. It belongs to the people. This is a day of unity, of courage, and of community care. A day to speak truth, lift one another up, and show the world that Memphis still leads with love and refuses to bow to fear. Now I'm going to take one moment and just speak from my heart about the things that have been happening here in Memphis. Like they said, I have been around since 2020, but the most pivotal thing that has happened to me since I've lived in this city was Tyree Nichols being murdered by MPD. And since then, we have watched police still be reckless in our communities and terrorize our communities. And today, we have not only MPD, but we have state troopers, we have the National Guard, we have the FBI, we have the FBI, DEA, you know, the alphabet people here terrorizing our communities. They are arresting people for simple traffic stops. People are getting charged with felonies over a gram of weed. We have our brown immigrant communities being snatched up for pumping gas and being drug away. This is not something that is just for immigrants. This is all of us right now. All of us need to stand up and fight this fascism, fight this tyranny that is happening in our city. Our black and brown community is suffering. We are suffering. It is in our impoverished neighborhoods, you guys. It's not everywhere. You don't see them everywhere you go in Memphis. If you were to drive past one of those stops, it would make your stomach sink. It hurts. You drive by and you see a car pulled over and there's 5 people surrounding them in uniforms, snatching them up, searching their cars illegally, arresting them for no reason other than they're black or brown. I'm happy to see so many white people out here today standing in unity to stand up for their black and brown brothers, because we are the ones who are at risk right now. And it's going to take all of us to stand up against this and fight this fascism. If we don't start standing up against it now, it's not going to stop. Bill Lee has already said that they're not going away. So how do we change things for us? By doing things like this, by coming together. So I'm so grateful that everybody decided to show up today and take a stand against this. I'm going to go ahead and get us started with our first speaker. Our first speaker understands that justice isn't about what happens inside the courtroom. It's about how power is used and who it serves. Steve Mulroy was elected Shelby County District Attorney General in 2022, bringing decades of experience as a federal prosecutor, civil rights attorney, and law professor at the University of Memphis. He has spent his career standing up for fairness, accountability, and the rule of law, even when it meant challenging those in power. He served as a Shelby County Commissioner, published nationally in Newsweek, The Hill, The New Republic, and has been a legal voice on CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News. Steve reminds us that the law should protect the people, not the powerful. And justice in a democracy means no one is above the law and no one rules as king. Please welcome District Attorney Steve Mulroy.
I'd like to let it go on all day, but we got to get going. Good afternoon, everybody. How y'all doing? Do we have any anti-monarchists in the house right now? Shout out if you're against monarchy here. I am so glad to see so many people, and so many more people than last time. Isn't this fantastic? I'm also glad to see so many of you here for a very selfish reason, because there's safety in numbers. I mean, how many politically motivated manufactured federal indictments can they really do, right? And if the Marines decide to do some sort of artillery barrage, some celebratory thing over Poplar, I'm thinking the odds are pretty good it won't hit me. So the theme today is no kings. And there's a reason why that is the perfect theme, because if there's one thing that people of good faith all across this country can agree on, it's that whenever one man has the unchecked power to make, interpret, and enforce the law, we lose our republic. And if any one man even starts to try to get that kind of power, we've all got to stop what we're doing, pull out all the stops, and stop him in his tracks. Because in this country, we don't kneel for kings, we stand for the Constitution. Now, is it really the case that Trump is trying to be a king? All right, maybe you've decided already. As a prosecutor, let me lay out the evidence. When I taught constitutional law, I would teach my students that these are the checks on executive power: Congress, the courts, the states, and the Constitution itself. Let me review each of those for the jury, okay? Congress. He has unilaterally, without even consulting Congress, effectively declared war on Venezuela, abolished entire federal agencies like USAID that was created by Congress, and fired thousands of federal law workers in direct violation of laws passed by Congress. The courts. His Justice Department has actually violated express federal court orders on topics ranging from hauling people off to foreign torture prisons without due process, sending military troops to police U.S. citizens, and having ICE agents physically assault reporters and peaceful protesters on the streets of Chicago. The states. He has taken military troops from red states and put them into blue states over the objection of those governors. He has illegally withheld federal funds, including desperately needed disaster funds, from blue states because he didn't like the leaders or their policies on unrelated things like voter ID. And he has threatened to withhold millions of more dollars from blue states unless they toe the Trump line on issues like immigration, climate change, and bail reform. And finally, the Constitution. He has arrogated to himself the unilateral power to amend the Constitution by purporting to abolish birthright citizenship in direct violation of the plain language of the 14th Amendment and over 100 years of Supreme Court case law. Not to mention the fact that just in the last 9 months alone, he has arrested, detained, deported, prosecuted, debarred, decertified, and delicensed people and firms because of their constitutionally protected expression of free speech rights under the First Amendment. Now, other than that, things are pretty great. So, let me summarize. Congress, ignored. The courts, defied. The states, bullied. The Constitution, rewritten. I submit it to you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what say ye on the charge of trying to be a king, guilty or not guilty? Guilty! I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. What's the verdict? Guilty! Your verdict must be unanimous. One more time? Guilty! All right, thank you. I'm now going to have the clerk poll you, each and every one of you individually. No. Maybe we don't have time for that. If we are going to try to do something about this creeping authoritarianism, galloping authoritarianism, the only answer is collective action. That means a united coalition. Progressives, liberals, centrists, moderates, non-MAGA Republicans, independents, all coming together, putting aside their policy differences and focusing on the fight against tyranny. And that means, I'm going to say this to both my DSA friends and my Republican friends, you're going to have to support some Democrats. You're going to have to do that, right? DSA, Republicans, you're going to have to get behind some Democrats. Now listen, this is what we're trying to do. A united front against the witch hunt. For democracy, not autocracy. For the Constitution, not persecution. Now I know that collective action is hard. It requires concentration, it requires organization, it requires cooperation. But we already know that mass protests and a united electorate can bring down autocrats. Just ask Berlusconi in Italy, or Fujimori in Peru, or just ask Bolsonaro in Brazil. Actually, no, you can't ask Bolsonaro. He's in jail. Now, I know there are some who say that authoritarian government has already come here in the United States. Trump's already won. He's co-opted Congress. He's jammed through the judges. He's engineering the elections. We're too divided. But I already know from last month that we can do things together in collective action and have an impact. Just ask Jimmy Kimmel. Or just look around at you guys today. For every Paul Weiss law firm that knuckled under to the illegal government coercion and fired people who sued Trump and canceled DEI and gave millions in basically protection money in the form of promises to do free legal representation to Trump, for every Paul Weiss law firm, there was a Jenner and Block who successfully sued. For every Columbia University who caved, there was a Brown and an MIT who didn't cave. And for every Paramount or CBS that fired a star and settled ridiculous lawsuits because they were afraid of regulatory action, there was a brave and courageous media mega corporation. All right, I don't have one for that one. That was going too far. But before I sit down, on that note, I want to tell you one quick story, and it's about Pete Hegseth. You know this guy? Oh, so you've heard of him. Oh, okay. The no-beardo Secretary of Defense, head of the imaginary Department of War, issued a decree recently that all the media agencies covering the Pentagon had to sign a legally binding oath that they wouldn't use any information other than the officially proved information from the Pentagon, upon pain of losing their Pentagon access, their press passes, so they couldn't get into the Pentagon building. 3 days ago, every single major media corporation said no and turned in their press passes. Including Fox and Newsmax. Now, folks, when Fox News has joined the resistance, we know we got something cooking. All right, so what do? Wrapping it up. We galvanize. We publicize, we organize. Every one of you, sign up, donate, volunteer, repost for Indivisible, Indivisible Memphis, the ACLU, MoveOn.org, Vencenarios 901, and every other organization that is ready to stand up to tyranny. If any of you is not a member in good standing of at least one of those organizations, then change that by the end of the day. Also, every one of you, I want every one of you to pledge today that you're going to find 5 people who don't normally vote or don't normally vote blue and get them to promise to vote blue in next November's elections. I want a show of hands. How many people are willing to make that pledge right now? I am really glad. And then finally, I want you to remember 2 words. And these are 2 words that I want all of you to say to Donald Trump. No, not those 2 words. This is a family-friendly event. These are the 2 words I want you to say right now with me. I want you to say them so loud that even he can hear them in his Golden Arches Palace in D.C. Say it with me. No kings!
No kings!
No kings!
No kings!
No kings!
No kings!
Louder! No kings! No kings! No kings! Thank you very much.
All right, real quick, I have
Well, you just heard from Shelby County District Attorney Steve Mulroy. This is the No Kings Memphis protest. It's an organized effort across the country, all happening today, just basically protesting against authoritarian power and specifically military occupation in U.S. cities as Memphis is undergoing right now. Thousands are out on Poplar in South Highland and East Memphis, gathered today just for this very effort. You just heard from Shelby County District Attorney Steve Mulroy, who really fired up the crowd and some of the claims he had targeting directly pointing to Trump, and just really encouraging people with his last sentence there to vote, to organize, to galvanize, join groups like the ACLU and Indivisible Memphis, which are the organizers of this No Kings rally, and encouraging people to vote. So we're going to listen in as well to other people who are going to come up and speak. Other elected leaders are on the list as well. There's going to be General Sessions Court Clerk Tammy Sawyer, as well as Representative Justin Pearson, City Councilwoman Jerry Green. So we're going to continue listening in as they bring in the next speaker to the podium. Right now, this is the MC, LJ Abraham. She is a local activist in the community, and we're going to take a listen to see who is next up on the list.
Power and transforming systems. As Executive Director of the Memphis for All and one of the many forces behind the Free the 901 campaign, she mobilizes communities to confront injustice and reimagine what liberation looks like. With more than a decade of experience as an educator, organizer, and advocate, Tequila is a catalyst for courageous action, turning grassroots energy into lasting change. Everybody please welcome Tequila Rucker.
Good afternoon, everybody. Before I start, I want to invite everyone that's a part of Free the 901 to join me. Free the 901, where you at? Y'all just come on up on the sides. If you in the crowd and you part of Free the 901, then I want you to know that when I say Free the 901, that includes you, because that's who we are. So before I say anything else, I want to also acknowledge the absence of my sister, Clerk Tammy Sawyer. Tammy was scheduled to be here with us today, but after receiving multiple death threats last night, she made the difficult and necessary decision to prioritize her safety and not attend. Let's be very clear that fear is what is a tool of authoritarianism. This is what fear will have you doing. It will have you being silent and unafraid to speak truth to power. But because we are not built and rooted in fear, but of courage, we are of a sound mind and body, and we're going to continue to show up and exercise our faith over fear. So I'm not going to lie. As I stand here right now, it is solely by faith that I stand before you, because I too observe the presence of fear. And so in this moment, this is me facing that fear, because I know that in order for us to overcome, we have to go through it. So why should you care? Because it is a fact that our criminal justice system disproportionately and negatively affects people of color, LGBTQ folks, people with disability, and those from low-income communities. And Memphis is 64% black. This so-called safety operation will impact me and you, your mama and your cousins too.
To this day, niggas that take it like they 96, gonna be that here, that all y'all players headed stick by me around this bitch.
Your mama and your cousins too. Rolling down the 901, because this is all about us. Me and you, your mama and your cousins too. So when we say Free the 901, that includes you, me, your mama, your cousins, and everybody else. Please understand that they want us to be afraid. If we are afraid and we are silent, that is where they will win. If they can silence Tammy Sawyer, that means there's an opportunity for all of us to be silenced. And we cannot allow that to happen. So together and collectively is how we stop America from becoming a country that is ruled by an autocrat. And that starts with us, that starts right here, that starts right now. So again, we are Free the 901. We are a movement ecosystem, and we invite all of you all to join us to lock arms and lock hands from black to brown, to the white, to the Jews, to the Muslims, to everybody. We are Free the 901, and we are in this together. So I'm going to invite Pastor DeAndre Johnson up. He coming in 8 minutes.
Real quick, I was asked to come to cover some I am.
All right, you just heard from Tequila Rucker. She is with the group Free the 901, as well as Memphis for All. She actually gave some information about General Sessions Court Clerk Tammy Sawyer, who was scheduled to speak at the No Kings protest here in Memphis today, but she was not present because she has been getting death threats and prioritizing her safety to not go to the protest. There are a list of other people still expected to speak. We are going to go back in just a moment. District Attorney Steve Mulroy just took the stand right before you heard from Free the 901, and he really spoke on a lot of encouragement to galvanize, to organize, to get people out to vote. That was his kind of lasting statement there. Before that, he really had a lot to say about Donald Trump and what he claims is an attack on Congress, the courts, the Constitution, and on states, talking about a lot of the recent events with some of those executive orders that Trump has carried out, specifically targeting immigrant communities and birthright citizenship, and just other ways that he has declared war on other countries. And so DA Steve Mulroy really gave a really passionate speech and really fired up people, if you will, and left saying that everybody needs to find people who have not voted or are not registered to vote, and he encouraged people to find people and really get them to sign up. We still have a list of other speakers that are expected today. Latino community leader Richard Massey's also on the list. Moms for Gaza group, City Councilwoman Jerry Green, Representative Justin Pearson is on this list as well to speak. LJ Abraham is a local Memphis activist. She's emceeing the entire event here as well. This is being put on with by Indivisible Memphis. This is at Poplar and South Highland. Last year, this was at the same, or not last year, excuse me, 4 months ago in mid-June. This was also happening at this very exact place. We do have a crew there. Shakina Davis is on the ground. She will be reporting what she heard from people. She's talking to people and interviewing people. So we're staying on this, and we are going to take you back there in a moment. There's also going to be some severe weather heading into our area later tonight. So we're staying on top of that as well. We're going to have a quick look at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Trevor Burchett.
We have a weather impact alert for later this evening and tonight. That's when we expect a round of showers and storms. We are nice and dry right now. It's going to be after the sun goes down that we really see these storms pick up. Some of those could produce some heavy rain, and a couple of storms, they could be a little bit stronger. I'm not expecting a widespread severe weather situation tonight. For most of us, we're going to see a round of heavy rain, some loud thunder, maybe a good wind gust or two. But there could be a couple of thunderstorms that do get a little stronger. In that case, some storms could produce wind gusts of 50 to 60 miles an hour, and also some heavy rain that could lead to a little bit of flooding on the roadways. Thankfully, with this setup, I'm not overly concerned about tornadoes. This is getting into our secondary severe weather season, though. I can't ever completely rule anything out, but I think the tornado potential is very low for this evening and tonight. Hail potential also pretty low. So we're starting out mostly sunny this morning, a few clouds here or there. Going to be warm this afternoon, mid-80s. You'll notice some more clouds moving in through the day, but notice that the rain chances really don't go up until after sunset. So if you have any plans through the day today, get out and enjoy it. It looks great. Just be aware, once the sun goes down, that's when we'll start to see those thunderstorms roll on in. Also going to be a little bit of breezy ahead of those storms. Winds out of the southwest, 15 to 20 miles an hour. So again, most of the day dry. I think even through dinner time, many of us are dry. Once the sun goes down, though, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, that's when we'll really start to see those storms move in. So again, nice and clear this morning. We'll see a clear sky for the most part through about 3 o'clock. Still nothing on the radar by then. Notice though, by dinner time, 6 p.m., this line of thunderstorms starts to move in from Arkansas. That gets a little closer to us by 8 p.m., just getting into eastern Arkansas at that point. And I expect this line of storms to be crossing the river by 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock tonight. So Memphis, North Mississippi, West Tennessee, we'll start to see those storms closer to 9 p.m. and then moving through West Tennessee and North Mississippi closer to 10 o'clock. Heads up for Oxford, it's going to be a busy night on the square. So if you are going to be out there later tonight, about 10 or 11 o'clock, just be aware, heavy rain, some gusty wind and thunder coming through. It does look like by midnight, though, in general, this starts to clear out. And certainly by tomorrow morning, radar going to be nice and clear. We'll be back to the sunshine for Sunday, much cooler weather as well. Going to be a little breezy today ahead of those storms, 20 to 25 mile an hour gusts. Again, those could be a little stronger with the actual storms coming in. Then we're going to see the winds switch direction. Once that cold front comes through tonight, winds will be out of the north and they'll stay breezy tomorrow. Gusts tomorrow morning, they could also be as high as 25 or 30 miles an hour. And that's going to bring in some much cooler weather. We'll get to about 86 this afternoon before the storms hit. And then tomorrow, even with the sunshine, high temperature of only 68 degrees. Look at this, 67 in Blytheville tomorrow, 69 in Mariana and Helena, West Helena. We'll get to 68 in Hernando, 66 your high temperature tomorrow. In Ripley and Corinth, we'll top out at 65 in Selmer, 66 in Dyersburg. Everybody enjoying some sunshine tomorrow. Tomorrow night, though, got to be a little chilly. I hear a couple of heaters clicking on already. Monday morning, these are your wake-up temperatures Monday morning, down to 48 in Memphis. Other spots colder than that. 40 your low in Bolivar, 41 in Oxford. Wouldn't be surprised for a couple of neighborhoods to flirt with those upper 30s. Again, that's tomorrow night into Monday morning. Overall temperatures stay below average. We've been talking about how warm it's been and how temperatures have been above average lately. Now we're going back below average. Highs in the 60s and 70s. That'll be nice for the next 7 days. Overall, rain chance is pretty low. I'm going to watch next Friday. There could be a couple of sprinkles then, but I don't expect any major storm systems for the next 7 days. So again, today, most of the day is dry. Get out and enjoy it. From now through sunset, nothing to worry about. Once the sun goes down, storms will start to approach. And that's why we're giving you that weather impact alert. You're going to be impacted by the rain if you're out by 7, 8, 9 o'clock tonight. Heavy rain, downpours, thunder and lightning, maybe some high wind gusts as well. Again, that's tonight into the early morning hours of Sunday. But by the time most of us wake up, 6 a.m., this is out of here. Sunshine, 68 tomorrow, a little breezy. It's going to be a little chilly, honestly. Beautiful weather through the week. Sunshine, low to mid 70s for your highs. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, lows in the 40s and 50s. And again, no other major storm systems on the way after tonight, but a slight chance of showers on Friday. Remember, you can stay updated with us through the day right here on ABC 24 Plus. For extended weather updates, you can stream us throughout the day. That's on your smart TV, Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV. You can also find us on your cell phone. Just search ABC 24.
All right, well, hours away from that severe weather coming in, people are taking advantage of the clear skies and no rain right now. You are looking at the No Kings protest in Memphis. This is in East Memphis on Poplar and South Highland. We have heard from a few speakers already. Shelby County District Attorney Steve Mulroy led off all the speeches, and then we also heard from Free the 901. We are hearing from more community groups as well. We're going to take a listen in now as people are continuing to gather throughout the day to protest authoritarian power and the military occupation, specifically with the Trump administration. And let's take a listen to hear what they have to say now.
We're a group of moms who are devastated by the scenes of children killed in Gaza. And how come we came together to stand against it in every way possible. You know, the other day, I was watching my aunt and her baby daughter. She's 2 years old. And she was playing and she hit her head. Just a little bump. But she started crying very loud. And her mom ran to her. She kissed her on her little bump. She comforted her. She stayed like this for the next 15 minutes. Trying to kiss her little bump and comfort her. for that little injury, a minor injury. And that made me think of mothers in Gaza. Mothers whose babies get injured from being shot straight in the head, from bombing their homes, from setting their tents on fire. How can a mother comfort her injured baby when the injury is so deep? The baby can't even cry. How can a mother comfort her baby when she can't even kiss his injury? Or the babies who cry from the pains of hunger. The babies who are starving to the point that their bodies are nothing but bones and skin. How can a mother comfort that baby? How can she watch her child die slowly in front of her eyes? Or the babies that get their legs and hands amputated without anesthesia. What can a mother say? What can a mother do? How can she get her kid through this? How can her heart survive this? There was one toddler who was laid on the hospital stretcher. She had such a deep wound. And while the doctor was tending to the wound, she would put her little hand on his gloved hands. And those curled fingers looked exactly like my baby's. And it teared my heart. I will never forget that little hand on the gloved doctor's hand. I will never forget all the images of all the babies killed in Gaza. All the kids, all the mothers, tears, crying, all the fathers, all the families, the daughters, the sons, the grandparents, everybody. I will never forget those images. That's why we have to hold them accountable. That's why we have to hold Trump accountable. Trump is a war criminal. Netanyahu committed a genocide. We have to hold them accountable.
Thank you all for coming, and thank you to Indivisible for keeping us indivisible. We call on all of Memphis to stand for accountability. We speak for the children, the mothers, the fathers, the grandfathers, the aid workers, the paramedics, everybody that's perished, the hundreds of thousands of people who have perished. We speak for them all. I'm sorry, I'm so emotional at all of your support. So thank you all for being here. We stand here to demand accountability, to reckon what it truly means to stand for humanity, and expose what it means to look away. Expose what it means to choose power over principle. Standing for humanity is not comfortable. It means facing ourselves and asking, why is this being done in my name? With my tax money, my silence, my vote. Why has it been so difficult to publicly unite against a live streamed slaughter? For too long, our leaders have defended the indefensible. They pollute our air, raise our housing costs, put us in debt for education and health care, all while continuously sending billions in weapons and state and federal money to a foreign entity. We cannot look away. Each one of us is complicit, directly complicit, when a portion of every one of our dollars goes to sustain war crimes and criminals. Standing for humanity means refusing complicity in every shape and form. It means saying my conscience is not for sale. My silence is not consent. My taxes will not fund the destruction of another people. It means refusing to fund the highest child casualty rate in modern history. Refusing to let billions go to a foreign military. While our schools, our hospitals, our neighborhoods, and our people suffer.
means calling out our politicians who take AIPAC money and shamelessly align themselves with a full-blown genocide. Because every dollar that props up a brutal settler colonial regime is a dollar stolen from our future. We can't claim to fight poverty, racism, or violence here when we're funding and financing all three abroad. Our world is connected. When our politicians align with oppression anywhere, that oppression makes its way home. What's happening in Gaza has definitely creeped into our city. The over-policing of Palestinians and consistent presence of an armed military has been normalized in their sight because of their visits to Israel. And just as our city police force was trained by Israeli forces in the past, the transference of this over-militarized control has now reached us full force. Free the 901! The lessons here is that the policies and causes our politicians align themselves with will affect us all. There is no such thing as it's complicated or it's not our problem. It's our money, it's our Congress, and it is our veto at the UN. It's our nation's name stamped on the bombs. And right here in Tennessee, our elected officials have formed a Tennessee Israel caucus. Shame. To promote ties with a rogue state actively committing a genocide. Most recently, they've approved of an Israeli weapons manufacturer to set up operations here in our state, subsidized by our taxes. Israel Weapons Industries moved in last month. Weapons destroying Palestinian existence are now being made in Tennessee. If we stay silent, we are not bystanders. We are complicit. To stand for humanity means action. To our people, boycott and divest. Refuse to let your dollars fund an occupation. Call to defund the war machine. To our politicians here today, we urge you to call it what it is. A genocide, an ethnic cleansing. We call on you to stand your ground, morally firm, and reject Israel's bloody money. We urge you to demand accountability, to sign the Block the Bombs Act, and to stand for a full arms embargo. Let no foreign force lord over you. Let no foreign force lord over you. Let no foreign force force you into a numbness and force you to numb your soul so thoroughly. Never justify human suffering for anybody. Our taxes should build our cities, not destroy others. Our representatives should not defend other cities and other countries. Our representatives should defend our tax dollars staying in our cities, not being funneled to build a resort town on top of mass graves. Our state should attract peace builders, not weapons manufacturers. Memphis, we are being tested. We are being tested. Will we stand for truth? Let me hear you louder. Will we speak truth to power? Or will we let our silence be taken as consent? History will remember. And when it does, let it remember that we stood fully, courageously, and without apology on the side of the oppressed That we demanded divestment, defunding, and accountability. That we united in standing against the oppressive systems that collaborate to repress us all. Because silence is not neutrality. Silence is violence. And we, the people of Memphis, will not surrender our humanity. Memphis, say it loud, not in our name. Not with our money. Israel should not rule our Congress. Israel should not rule our policies. America is servile to no one. America has no king. No king. America has no king. Not Netanyahu and definitely not Trump. Free the 901. Free Gaza. Free Palestine. Thank you all.
Our next speaker embodies what it means to build power from the ground up, not waiting for change, but creating it. Richard Massey is a homegrown organizer, a policy advocate, and someone who sees politics not as a privilege, but as a service. He served in leadership with the Tennessee Young Democrats, led voter education work through Just My Memphis, and fights every day so that working class voices in our city aren't ignored, but heard. He studies political science at the University of Memphis, but what he really majors in is courage. Because in a moment when so many systems aim to silence our communities, Richard stands to remind us no kings rule here, the people do. Please welcome to the stage, Richard Massey.
Memphis, how we doing today? Y'all doing all right? Come on, a little louder, y'all doing all right? That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. So we're in, right now, we're in the heart of the civil rights movement. We're in the epicenter of the justice movements of yesterday. And once again, Memphis is on the front lines of the resistance. Right now, there are an estimated 10 million Americans that have hit the streets today, all across this country, including right here in Memphis. 10 million Americans. Speaker Mike Johnson said that any American who decides to join today's protests are joining a Hate America rally. Speaker Johnson, we don't hate America. We love America enough to fight for it. We love America enough to demand the America that we were promised as children. And that America shall not ever come beneath a king. Among us today are everyday, regular working people, from teachers to truck drivers to food workers, sheet metal workers, electricians, plumbers, firefighters, and so many more, who are not going to sit silently by while the promise of a fairer America withers away in real time. Young people who are concerned about the present and the future of a planet that's dealing with a climate crisis and whether or not they'll be able to afford a home. Seniors who are concerned about the very benefits that they endured sore joints and callous hands for to retire with dignity. They're concerned about it. Everyone here today is here for one reason or another. But the prevailing reason is that the promise that was sold to us has been broken, trampled, and spat upon by the wealthiest, most corrupt administration in our country's history. A lot of people, maybe some of you here know somebody like this, think that none of this matters. None of this matters to them at work. None of this matters to them at the hospital. None of this matters to them at the grocery market. None of this matters in Memphis or Tennessee. The very people whose silence, Dr. King would say, is betrayal. To those who think that none of this matters, we encourage you to look around. Just because injustice does not come knocking at your door doesn't mean that you shouldn't care about it. After all, that is what the Lord commands of us. Over 2,000 times, the Lord calls on us to aid the poor and to advocate on their behalf when nobody else will. Over 400 times, he calls on us to advocate on behalf of our immigrant neighbors. Does any of what you are seeing today in this city, in this state, or in this country reflect that at all? Does it Truly, does it reflect that at all? Does it reflect the teachings of Christ? No. So just to recap, what is happening in our city since Donald Trump has taken office in January? Do you remember when hardworking students at Benjamin L. Hook's Job Corps Center were told that they had to go home by the Trump administration? Do you remember that? I remember. Do you remember when the Trump administration blocked patients on Medicaid from getting care at Planned Parenthood, which just led to one of 2 clinics in Memphis closing last week? Did y'all hear about that? Are you seeing this administration take a chainsaw to emission standards for power plants, which has made it a hell of a lot easier for Elon Musk to come here in South Memphis and poison Boxtown, and poison Whitehaven, and poison West Junction? Did you see the Trump administration cut $170 million from violence prevention programs that save lives in cities like Memphis? Have you talked to a neighbor that works at the FAA, or the IRS, or the VA, or the Postal Service here in Memphis that just lost their job because this administration wants to traumatize federal workers? Finally, have you seen with your own eyes the blatant racial profiling, the targeting of low-income black and brown folks in this city? Have you seen the occupation of Memphis by federal agents and now the National Guard? If you answered yes to any of those questions, there's a place for you in this movement. Right now, as we speak, there are between 1,500 to 2,000 federal agents in Memphis right now on a daily basis, operating in our city. Community members, particularly black and brown folks, are concerned about what this means for them and their families. They are afraid of being stopped for a broken taillight or defective blinkers and beaten, which is a story that's all too familiar here in Memphis. They're afraid of their workplace or even their child's elementary school being raided by masked ICE agents. They are concerned about being stopped because they have broken English or because they appear to be Hispanic, which was just given the green light by the Supreme Court. All of us want a safer Memphis where we live free from gun violence, right? But we also understand that there are solutions to this lingering problem that don't include unleashing federal agencies into Memphis neighborhoods. But get this, our very ability to push for a fairer country, our very ability to push for a more just country is threatening itself. The Voting Rights Act is on the chopping block right now before the Supreme Court, who's hell-bent on doing the bidding of Donald Trump and not the Constitution. Right now, the Supreme Court is heavily considering eliminating Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act that ensures that unfair electoral maps are not the law, that dilute minority representation. District 9, the district that we're in right now, could be gutted because it's a majority black district. These are hard-fought foundational civil rights, won in the streets of Memphis, Tennessee. And just as our forefathers led the charge then, it is our obligation to signal their courage and commitment to the promise of America. Everyone here has realized the power of their voice because y'all are here today. But the job is far from finished. We need you to donate to the Immigrant Pantry. We need you to help the veterans at the encampment right now. Bring them some bottles of water. We need you to meet up with Tigers Against Pollution to learn more about how we can resist corporate polluters in Memphis. We need you to touch base with Freedom 901 to learn how you can plug in. Go to a registrar training so you can learn how to get our young people registered to vote. We need people to activate and get engaged now because, frankly, we are underreacting. We deserve an America where we are free from the threat of gun violence and military occupation. We deserve an America where we aren't bankrupted by our medical bills or the cost of our medicine. We deserve an America where a year of child care isn't more expensive than a year at a four-year public university. We deserve an America that affords every child a quality public education and where income doesn't determine your ability to go to school. If you serve this country, you deserve to be housed and taken care of because of your service. We deserve an America where you can join a union and bargain for a safer workplace, the pay that you deserve, the benefits that you deserve. Because that is the America that is promised to us. And for as long as that promise is being broken, we the people will resist. I heard a fellow organizer who just came up here, Tequila Rucker, say, so as Memphis goes, the South goes. And so as the South goes, the rest of the country goes. And that we are here today to declare that Memphis and the South have something to say. Thank you.
of unions, I'm going to jump off track really quick and just say that Mayor Paul Young wants to destroy our city workers like Trump did to the federal workers. So the Central Labor Council of Memphis is asking for people to show up at the city council this Tuesday, October 21st at 4 p.m. to help them get their pay increase that was promised and Paul Young is trying to take away from them. All right, so our next speaker knows firsthand what it means to stand in the gap for his community when systems turn its back. Jose Salazar is a founder and leader with the Collective Good Immigrant Pantry, one of the strongest grassroots mutual aid networks in Memphis, delivering food, dignity, and solidarity to families targeted by the recent task force raids and federal occupation. He's not just feeding people, he's fighting for them. Jose has been a steady voice for immigrant families living in fear, reminding this city that compassion is not a crime and community care is an act of resistance. Jose stands here today to remind us no king, no president, no government has the right to decide who belongs. Please join me in welcoming Jose Salazar.
How's everyone doing? Before I start, I want to ask you everyone for a favor. Jessica, come up here. Come up here. I want everybody to sing happy birthday to Jessica. Her birthday was 2 days ago. Please. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jessica. Happy birthday to you. I want to thank this woman for giving me the opportunity to be a part of Indivisible. She's been doing a lot of great things for the immigrant community, and I can't thank her enough. I can't thank the team enough. Today I'm going to start my speech in Spanish, just because everyone's been doing it in English. I got to change it up. Yeah. Antes que nada, también quiero agradecer a toda la comunidad inmigrante que está aquí. Estoy con ustedes. Siento el miedo que sienten ustedes. Y los estamos viendo, estamos con ustedes. Estoy aquí con dolor en el pecho, fuego en el corazón y la verdad en mi lengua. Porque estoy cansado de ver familias destrozadas. Cansado de ver personas desaparecer en la noche. De ver a nuestras comunidades vivir en miedo. Mientras los que están en el poder se sientan en sus tronos en silencio, ahí sigue separando a nuestras familias, sigue destruyendo hogares, sigue secuestrando a nuestra gente, sigue destruyendo sueños y vidas. ¿Y cómo lo llaman? Política, ley, que solo cumplen con su trabajo, pero nosotros conocemos la verdad. Esto no es solo burocracia. Esto no es neutralidad, esto es violencia, esto es crueldad sancionada por el Estado. Esto es colonialismo moderno escondido detrás del papeleo y placas. Esto es lo que pasa cuando permitimos que el sistema actúe como reyes, cuando permitimos que el poder no tenga control, no sea cuestionado y no rinda cuentas. Aquí no hay reyes. No en esta tierra, no en este movimiento, no en esta lucha. Rechazamos la idea de que un hombre, una agencia, un gobierno o un agente de ICE tenga el derecho de decidir quién se queda y quién se va. Rechazamos las jaulas, rechazamos las redadas, rechazamos el miedo inyectado en nuestros vecindarios como veneno en nuestra agua. Pero no solo rechazamos a ICE, rechazamos el silencio, rechazamos la complicidad, rechazamos a todos los llamados líderes que le dan la espalda a nuestra gente. Así que permítanme ser claro, para el alcalde Paul Young, tus declaraciones de solidaridad no significan nada mientras sigan arrastrando a nuestros vecinos de sus hogares. mientras sigan separando familias. No puede ser neutral cuando esta gente está siendo casada. Para cada miembro del Consejo Municipal, cada funcionario de la Junta Escolar, cada llamado progresista, si ocupan un cargo y no hacen nada, son parte del sistema. Si se quedan callados, están eligiendo el lado de la opresión. No pueden esconderse detrás de reuniones de presupuesto mientras nuestros niños lloran por sus padres. No pueden asistir a eventos comunitarios ignorando el dolor de la comunidad. Los vemos, oímos su silencio y recordaremos quién estuvo a nuestro lado y quién dejó que nuestras familias fueran robadas en la noche. ¿Dónde están las iglesias? ¿Dónde están las escuelas? ¿Dónde están las voces que deberían estar gritando a nuestro lado? Su silencio es violencia. Su silencio es una corona entregada al opresor. Pero no estamos aquí para inclinarnos. Estamos aquí para levantarnos. Estamos aquí para decir, no más reyes, no más ICE, no más miedo. Para aquellos que se esconden en este momento, los llevamos con nosotros. Los vemos, no están olvidados. Y no nos detendremos hasta que puedan vivir, hablar y respirar libremente otra vez. Porque las familias deben de estar unidas. Porque nuestras vidas no son desechables. Porque no somos súbditos de un sistema. Somos personas, somos poder. Y ya no queremos ser gobernados. Estamos hartos de las jaulas, hartos de las redadas, hartos de esperar permiso para ser tratados como seres humanos. No necesitamos de sus tronos, tampoco de sus coronas. Queremos libertad, justicia. Queremos a nuestra gente en casa. Y si eso significa derribar todo el maldito sistema, las leyes, los muros, los sistemas, construidos sobre el control y miedo, que así sea. No tenemos miedo, somos la resistencia, somos el futuro y estamos aquí para quedarnos. Just give me a second because I kind of ran out of breath. It's kind of hard for me to stay here today because one of my best friends from the movement just got detained a couple of days ago for trying to do the right thing. He's from Knoxville. His name is Alejandro Guizar. He's been fighting for the immigrant community all over Tennessee for the last 15 years with me. So this one's for you, buddy. I'm standing here with pain in my chest, fire in my heart, and truth on my tongue because I'm tired. I'm tired of watching families be torn apart. I'm tired of watching people disappear in the night. I'm tired of seeing our communities live in fear while those in power sit on their thrones in silence. I see still separating families, still kidnapping our people, still destroying homes, dreams and lives. And what do they call it? Policies, laws, just doing their jobs. But we know the truth. This is not neutrality. This is violence. This is state-sanctioned cruelty. This is modern-day colonialism, hiding behind paperwork and badges. This is what happens when we let the system act like kings. When we let the power go unchecked, unchallenged, and unaccountable. There are no kings here. Not in this land. Not in this movement. And definitely not in this fight. We reject the idea that one man, one agency, one government, or one ICE officer has the right to decide who gets to stay and who must disappear. We reject the cages, the raids, and we reject the fears forced into our neighborhood like poison in our water. We don't reject just ICE. We reject the silence, the complicity. We reject every so-called leader who turns their back on our people. So let me be clear to Mayor Paul Young. Your statements of solidarity mean nothing while our neighbors are being dragged from their homes. You can't be neutral when our people are being hunted. To every city council member, every school board official, every so-called progressive, if you sit in office and do nothing,
All right, that was Jose Salazar with the Collective Good Immigrant Pantry that you just heard there. He was actually in the middle of calling out some of our local elected leaders and just talking about how the military occupation here, the National Guard deployment, the Memphis Safe Task Force, has affected immigrant communities. Now, this is the No Kings protest. It's happening nationwide. This one is in Memphis. You can see hundreds, if not thousands, of people are out on Poplar and South Highland. This same protest happened 4 months ago in mid-June, and about 5 million Americans across the country all came out and are basically protesting authoritarian power and military occupation in U.S. cities, and that's specifically tied to the Trump administration. There is a list of speakers, and we were right in the middle of that. But the first speaker was Shelby County District Attorney Steve Mulroy, and then we were told by the 901 Free the 901 group that General Sessions Court Clerk Tammy Sawyer chose to prioritize her safety over making her appearance and speaking today. She had reportedly has been getting and receiving death threats, and so she decided not to show up today. We also heard from a group called Moms for Gaza, and they gave a really touching and powerful testimony of what moms and families in Gaza have had to deal with the war in Gaza, and just how are moms supposed to comfort their kids if they're starving and may have been injured from airstrikes, and really gave a touching testimony of what it is like over there for families, and specifically wanted to talk to people about how your taxpayer dollars are being used and to pay attention to how elected leaders are using taxpayer money to fund various things. So we are continuing to cover the No Kings protest. We have a crew there. We have our Shekinah Davis on the ground talking to people. Again, this is going from 11 a.m. it started all the way to 3 o'clock tonight. We also have severe weather coming in tonight, this evening, overnight as well. So Chief Meteorologist Trevor Burchett is tracking that as well. The last speaker we heard from, Jose Salazar, as I said, was with the Collective Good Immigrant Pantry. So this is also doubling as a supply drive benefiting the Collective Good Immigrant Pantry, and they deliver food and essential items to families impacted by federal raids and detentions. And they're asking for people who are participating in the protest to also bring non-perishable food, hygiene products, and household supplies to go for that effort. So we are continuing again to monitor everything and just keeping you informed in the coverage on the No Kings protest. This is again out in East Memphis off of Poplar and South Highland in the green space there. And we are going to actually look at other live shots now across the country of other No Kings protests, because this is happening in about 2,500 other separate marches and rallies across the country. So let's go. We will look live right now at D.C., I believe, and New York. This is happening there. This must be the New York one, if I'm not mistaken. Our producer is showing us here, and we're going to keep it on this shot. We will have more for you, but we're just going to keep a kind of cycle of these live shots of the No Kings protest here across the country.
Justin J. Pearson.
No kings! No kings! No kings! We start rounds, we say who fired up, you say we fired up. Who fired up? Who fired up? Who fired up? Yes, we fired up. We fired up because we've got this wannabe dictator, white nationalist in the White House who's forgot power belongs to the people, not to Donald Trump. We fired up because Stephen Miller and this Memphis Safe Task Force that is pulling people over because they don't have the right license plate is wrong. It's immoral. And if you want to do something about crime, do something about poverty. We fired up because we know that Memphis, Shelby County, this community is a beautiful place with extraordinary people. Look at us. We look amazing. And we will not allow the narratives coming out of Washington, D.C. or Nashville, Tennessee from this governor stop us from fighting for our belovedness and the beauty that we know each and every one of us inhabit just by being who God has called for us to be. We fired up. And we have to pay attention. When we see people abusing and misusing their authority and their power against their Democratic opponents using the Department of Justice. We saw this with James Comey, now with Bolton. They're weaponizing the institution of government against people. Right here in Memphis and across the country, we're seeing ICE kidnapping and disappearing people in our beloved community. And what they expect us to do is just accept it. What they expect us to do is just say, well, that's just the way things are. Democrats aren't in power in D.C. That's what they want us to do. They just want to say there's nothing y'all can do. They want us to accept that. But are we going to accept it? No! We're not going to accept that. No! Because we know that when we show up, when we stand up, when we speak up, when we fight back, things change. Well, Rep. Pearson, how do you know? I'm glad you asked him. When we showed up, stood up, and fought back against multi-billion-dollar corporations, we saved our drinking water. When we showed up and fought back against a company that was polluting the air that we breathe, Sterilization Services of Tennessee, they got shut down because we showed up and fought back. And even now we're fighting billionaires who think they can buy the presidency, who's trying to destroy our community and our environment right here in Memphis with XAI. We know when we show up, when we speak up, when we fight back, change happens. And some folks say, y'all just protesting. Y'all just making noise. We protesting and we voting. We protesting and we running for office. We protesting and we're supporting mutual aid for our neighbors. We're protesting and we're lifting up those who've been made lost, those who've been made. We're doing both. Because we know that justice is possible. And this is the flame of hope that we must carry in our hearts during these difficult moments of crises. It is that Kairos is still possible, that this can be a moment of sacred opportunity. Because what they want to happen is the flame of hope that we hold, they want it to die. The flame of possibility that we carry in our hearts, they want it to die. And every time that we come to the No Kings rally, every time that we put out one more comment on social media saying we're not going back, every time that we stand up and say we believe in justice, in fairness, in democracy, in the rule of law, we are taking one of the stones in the scriptural text of David and hitting Goliath. That's what we've got. We got to pick up our stones to take Goliath out. But we know how the story ends. David wins. We are the Davids. And we are going to win because we believe in the Constitution. We believe that Article 3, Section 5 of the Tennessee State Constitution tells the governor that he cannot send the National Guard here except in cases of rebellion and invasion. And so some really good people are suing the governor because this is a democracy. And in a democracy, you sue the people in power.
when they're trying to take your right to sue the people in power, when they're trying to take you back to fight against the dictatorship. That's what we do. And look, the origins of our country are complicated. My ancestors were enslaved in this nation when it was founded. A genocide against Native Americans is etched into the very beginnings of our nation. But we have to remember at the same time we can hold the paradox that even amidst that difficulty and challenge, some very flawed men got together and they wrote some good words. And they show up in this little document that I carry around with me, of a Declaration of Independence and the United States Constitution. And that Declaration of Independence has got some really good words in it. Y'all go home and read your Declaration of Independence. Because we got to reclaim some things. We gonna take this back like we taking our flags back. We gonna take this back like we taking our country's values back. We gonna take back these documents. It says we hold these truths to be self-evident. I'm gonna edit it that all people. Somebody say all people. All people. All people. All people. That means all poor people, all black people, all white people, all Latino people, all people in the suburbs, all people in the hood, all people, all straight people and queer people, all people, all educated people and less educated. We all people are created equal and endowed by their creator with certain inalienable rights, and that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I gotta tell you, it's some good words for us to reclaim. First three words of this Constitution says, we the people. We the people. We the people. We the people. When I say we, you say the people. We. The people who believe in democracy and the future of Memphis and Shelby County and Tennessee and these United States of America. We. The people who believe that everybody must be lifted up in order for all of us to be who God calls for us to be. It's about we. The people who believe that one job should be enough and we need to increase the minimum wage and stop people from being in poverty. It's about we. The people who know that costs are too high, you leave half of your check at Kroger's and the other half in rent. We who believe that we can make this democracy live up to its true value, a value where all people are respected, all lives are treated as sacred, and where each and every one of us are able to be who we are called to be. We will not bow down. We will not break. We will not bend. We will keep marching until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream. We. God bless you. I love you, Memphis. No kings. No kings. No kings. No kings. No kings.
All right, so thank you guys so much. We appreciate everybody for taking the time out of their day to come out and show up, to show our mayor, show our governor, and show our president that we do not want a king. We do not want a federal occupation. As we wrap up, I'm going to have Lauren Vincent Hine come up here and sing a song for us, and we can get to this protest, y'all. Thank y'all again so much. We love y'all. No kings! No kings! No kings! No kings!
Hey, I didn't plan to get up here. I didn't make a speech or anything. I've been over here playing records all day. I hope you've been enjoying it. I'm a firm believer that we must hold the vision of revolutionary love like Asada Shakur spoke about. We must have a revolution of love, and that means we're going to sing and we're going to dance and we're going to laugh in the face of the fascists, okay? That's what I've done my entire life. My life is a protest. Our life, each and every time we choose joy and catch ourselves before we fall. we choose life. We choose family. So I didn't plan to do this, but I came prepared with my lyrics. I dedicate this to my mama. I dedicate this to Tammy Sawyer and her daddy, Grandy, who they can't feel comfortable being here right now, and they really pushed me to lift my voice and sing. So,
all right, the No Kings protest in Memphis is wrapping up now. We heard from Representative Justin Pearson just a few moments ago. He was very passionate, really pulling out this pamphlet of what of the Constitution and saying that we need to reclaim the words in the Declaration of Independence. He also mentioned lawsuits against the Governor Lee for wrongfully deploying the National Guard to Memphis. He mentioned doing something about crime. You need to do something about poverty, which is something Pearson has been saying in a lot of his speeches about the National Guard deployment and the Memphis Safe Task Force, is that the root of crime comes from poverty, and that resources need to go towards that more than military occupation. He was not the only person we heard from. District Attorney, Steve Mulroy led off all of the speeches first, and then we were expected to hear from General Sessions Court Clerk Tammy Sawyer, but she decided to prioritize her safety. She reportedly has been receiving death threats. We heard from Moms for Gaza, two women who got up there to really explain and make people really feel like they can step in the shoes of mothers who've had to try to comfort their children who are starving and dealing with the war in Gaza. We also heard from Latino community leader and political activist Richard Massey, as well as Jose Salazar from the Collective Good Immigrant Pantry. They're also, this is serving as a double kind of supply drive for the Collective Good Immigrant Pantry. They deliver food and essential items to families impacted by federal raids and detentions. And they were asking participants of the protest to bring non-perishable foods, hygiene products, and household supplies as well. So the No Kings protest is happening nationwide. This happened 4 months ago. 5 million Americans came out to protest against authoritarian power and military occupation in U.S. cities in the mid-June. We are seeing gatherings in New York as well as D.C. Again, 2,500 separate marches and rallies are planned for today. This is in D.C. As you can see, people are in the streets. This is near the White House, and the nation's capital obviously going to have a very big showing, given just that this is in targeting and directly to the Trump administration. People coming out and saying no authoritarianism and military occupation. We're also seeing a demonstration in New York, a quite large one there as well, and we'll have that for you a little later. But the one in Memphis just wrapped up as far as the speakers go. This started at around 11 a.m. The speakers took the stage at 12. It's going to go until 3 o'clock, so about an hour and a half left. There was quite a few speakers, and people are out there. It's a huge showing. We have our Shakina Davis reporting on the ground for us. She's going to have more on our newscast at 6 o'clock, and she's talking to people about what they are feeling and the frustrations. We heard from the Mom for Gaza's group mention how people need to pay attention to their taxpayer dollars and what resources that elected leaders are putting that money towards. And the over-policing of Palestinians was normalized and seeping into what we're seeing here in Memphis with the Memphis Safe Task Force. Justin Pearson, Representative Pearson, also mentioning just some of the nature of the arrests that the Memphis Task Force is doing, and people getting pulled over for license plates or just pretextual traffic stops. He mentioned that in his speech. He mentioned that there are violence prevention programs are getting cut, federal workers cut, and directly pointing at the Trump administration. He mentioned the racial profiling concerns from the Memphis Safe Task Force and the deployment of the National Guard here, and the ICE raids that is targeting the immigrant community in our very own city. So lots to just unpack, lots of speakers there. If we can look back live too at what we're seeing on South Highland and Poplar. That's the intersection where this whole entire protest is happening. You can see everyone gathered there. They have signs. We've seen people even dressed up in various costumes. Family-friendly event, lots of families out there, as well as people bringing their dogs. It's a very big showing. District Attorney Steve Steve Morey mentioned that there were more people this time than there were 4 months ago in mid-June than last time, and there's safety in numbers, he said. Very passionate as well from District Attorney Mulroy, also pointing to the Trump administration and saying that Trump has had attacks on Congress, the courts, the Constitution, and the states. Just a lot of pointing to some of the executive orders that Trump has carried out during his second term here, but just passionate speeches all around from all of the different local activists as well as local elected leaders, and just talking about standing up against fascism and what it takes to get out there and register to vote and really effectively make change. Lots of people, as you can see, surrounded. The speaking portion wrapped up, so it started at 12, wrapped up a couple minutes ago, so it went for an hour and a half. And we have our Shakina Davis reporting on the ground, talking to the actual protesters, and you'll hear more from them on our newscasts later on this evening. But Shelby County District Attorney Steve Mulroy kicked it off. Then the Free the 901 group got up there and really rallied the crowd as well. The Moms for Gaza group spoke. We were to hear from City Councilwoman Jerry Green as well. And then we saw Justin Pearson, Representative Pearson. The whole thing was emceed by LJ Abraham. She's a Memphis activist as well, and talking about local leaders, even mentioned Memphis Mayor Paul Young in her bit, and just talking about his collaborative approach may not be in the interest of the community is more of what her tone was. But this is happening again nationwide. Millions of Americans are coming out today. The first protest for the No Kings protest was in mid-June. And 5 million Americans came out then. This is being organized by Indivisible Memphis, but it's a whole host of other organizations are out there. The ACLU is out there as well, and the Collective Good Immigrant Pantry, which does efforts for the immigrant communities that are being affected by federal raids and detentions. We are going to continue coverage on this. We're going to kind of set and just let this sit here as you all can get a visual on how many people are out there. This is in East Memphis. If you are planning on participating, this is going until 3 o'clock, so you have a little more than an hour left. The Collective Good Immigrant Pantry is also asking participants or encouraging participants to bring donations, non-perishable food items, hygiene products, household supplies to help immigrant communities that are affected by federal raids and those detentions. So we'll keep it here. We'll be back with more updates. And again, we have a reporter on the ground. You'll hear from some protesters later on in our newscasts. We are continuing live coverage of the No Kings protest in Memphis. It is a nationwide effort, and there's about 2,500 planned across the country today. And it is in protest of authoritarian power and military occupation in U.S. cities. This one in Memphis started at about 11 a.m. It's going till 3 o'clock. We are going to move our camera to the street so you can get a better look at people actually protesting. This is on Poplar and South Highland. We were on the green space initially where there was speakers set up, and there was quite a few, several of them. District Attorney Steve Mulroy kicked off the speeches, and then there was Free the 901 group. There was a Moms for Gaza group, Latino community leader, as well as a political activist, Richard Massey, as well as Jose Salazar with the Collective Good Immigrant Pantry. And then Representative Justin Pearson wrapped it all up. It was emceed by LJ Abraham. She's a Memphis activist as well. And that went on for about an hour and a half. That wrapped up around 1:30. And people are still out there on the green space area. They'll be there until 3 o'clock. And it's just basically a huge nationwide protest and in response to a lot of the Trump administration's executive orders and decisions made during his second term in office. The first protest, nationwide protest, No Kings protest, was in mid-June, and 5 million Americans across the country demonstrated in this way. And now this is the second one, and we're seeing in Memphis hundreds, if not even thousands of people are out there. We have a reporter, Shakina Davis. She's going to get set up and tell us a little bit of what she's hearing actually there in East Memphis. Shelby County District Attorney Steve Mulroy had a very passionate speech opening up saying, do we have any anti-monarchists here? And more people than last time, which was 4 months ago, and safety in numbers. He said, quote, "We don't kneel for kings, we stand for the Constitution." He pointed out Trump's attack, or what he says is Trump's attack on Congress, the courts, the states, and the Constitution. And he was really encouraging people to galvanize and organize and get involved with organizations like the ACLU and Indivisible Memphis, which Indivisible Memphis is the one that's leading this No Kings protest that organized the one today. He's encouraging people to vote, and then ended his speech with 2 words, and that was No Kings. And Representative Pearson had a lot of the same sentiment as well. He pulled out a pamphlet that had the Declaration of Independence words on it, and saying it's time to reclaim the country's values and those words that's written in the Declaration of Independence. Mentioned also the lawsuits that are going against Governor Lee for the deployment of the National Guard to Memphis. And just really wrapped up a passionate speech there. That was around 1:30. Okay, we do have our reporter in place. Shakina Davis is on the streets there at Highland and Poplar. We're going to go to her and talk a little bit about what she's seen and what she's hearing from people. So Shakina, if you can hear me, give me a little bit of the lay of the land. What are people showing up today for? Okay, we're still waiting for Shakina to get in place there, but you can see this is on Highland and Poplar. Lots of people out there with signs lining the sidewalk. There's our reporter Shakina. If you can, as she gets in place, we'll see what she's hearing and seeing and who she's talked to. But this has been going on since 11 a.m. and again, nationwide. We've been seeing some demonstrations in D.C. and New York as well. Thousands of people attending the No Kings protest to really just fight against authoritarianism and military occupation. Now, the first one was in mid-June, and this was before the deployment of the Memphis Safe Task Force and the National Guard to Memphis. It was more so when it was probably around the time that FBI Director Kash Patel had said that Memphis was the homicide capital of the country. And so that kind of put a focus on Memphis. And since then, the rollout of the Memphis Safe Task Force started on September 29th. And now we are here with the National Guard in the second or going on third week of the National Guard. We're seeing troops on the ground this very weekend. We saw a lot of troops on Beale Street. The Freedom Award was there, as well as the Memphis Madness basketball event on Beale. So A lot of people had a lot to say today about the military occupation here, and Representative Pearson also mentioning that poverty is the problem of crime, and that resources need to go into fixing the poverty problem more than there needs to be military occupation. Okay, so we're going to go back live now, if we can, to Shakina Davis, and she is still working to get set up there, but we also heard from, again, Shelby County District Attorney Steve Morroy. We heard from Free the 901 group, and they told us that Tammy Sawyer, General Sessions Court Clerk Tammy Sawyer, was expected to speak, but she decided not to go today to protect her safety. Here's Shakina. We're finally seeing Shakina. So Shakina, you've been talking to people there. What have they been telling you? What are their kind of motivation for coming out today?
Here on South Highland Street and Popular, where thousands of people are gathered here today in support of the No Kings protest that has been happening nationwide all across the country today in different areas. And I've spoken with some people ranging from parents, kids, students. I've even spoken with some student school associations and others who have been just expressing how they feel about today's protest and why they're doing it. I even have some people here now holding signs who are willing to speak to me about what their signs mean and why they decide to come out today.
Yeah, so we just decided to come out. Like my sign says, when injustice becomes law, resistance becomes duty. So it's our duty to protect democracy, and it's not about all black people, brown people, it's about all of us. So this affects everybody. We can't let, this is not a dictatorship, it's a democracy. We all have a voice and we need to use it, and now is the time. So the other side says, the power of the people is stronger than the people in power. We got to believe that if we're going to make a change. Amen. It's going to take all of us. And today is just like a great show of solidarity. So I love it. I love to see it. I wish every corner in America looked like this today. Amen. And every day until we get a change.
Amen. We don't have time to play around anymore. This is not a game, people. This is a call to action. My sign says, no kings anytime. We cannot sit by and just be complacent about what's going on. This is our country, and it's time for us to fight for it.
That's right. And so these have been going on for months now. What are your all thoughts on how today's turnout is versus just seeing how much it's grown over the month?
Yeah, I think it's hopeful to see more people engaged, and if we just need to keep it up, keep having a presence to let them know that we are not in agreement. We do not consent to this military occupation. We need opportunities, not occupation. We need to invest in people and not be concerned about profit. So this is very encouraging, but we can't stop now. We have to have a constant presence in the community and on the streets. And that's what we plan to do.
They're not gonna stop, so we can't stop.
Anything else you'd like to say?
Yeah, I just want to say, free the 901. Thank you.
And you heard it again from more protesters who are just constantly, as they say, they're keeping up the fight. They're not giving up. They said that they will continue to do this until they see some real change and what some of that change looks like. I have more from protesters that I spoke with a little bit earlier regarding the change that they're hoping to see, when they're hoping to see it, and what they hope will continue to be here in Memphis and across the country. Reporting in Memphis, I'm Shakina Davis. Back to you.
Why does this protest go? We see it behind you, but if you can kind of pan around and give us a little bit of the lay of the land of how big and massive this protest is in East Memphis.
How far and how wide does the protest go?
How far and wide? It's nationwide, of course, but it looks like it will continue to go until the fight is pretty much, I guess not until they say that they have seen some real change here, is what I've been hearing from protesters. They're looking to just keep it up and keep going until they see some real change. Not sure exactly when that this fight would be over, but until they say they're done or they've seen some real change.
Yes, and 2,500, more than 2,500 separate marches and rallies. Thank you,
And
Shakina.
as you can
we'll
see
get
behind
back.
me as well, you have people who are chanting.
We'll get back to Shakina
expressing-
in just a moment. But yes, 2,500 separate marches and rallies are planned today. This happened 4 months ago for the first time in mid-June, where 5 million Americans came out and protested no kings and authoritarian power. As I was asking, it's in East Memphis. This is off Poplar and South Highland where Shakina is. It's very busy around there. I can't imagine that it's probably a little hard. They're directing traffic there. So as we get a panned shot of everything, the green space in that area was full. Thousands of people are lining the streets. They do have some traffic authority out there to kind of make sure people are doing so safely. They are able to do this as long as they stay on public spaces like a sidewalk or a park. But of course, can't disrupt the flow of traffic. So if you plan to be in East Memphis on South Highland and Poplar, obviously you want to know that you'll have to proceed with caution. There are a lot of people out there today. We heard from a lot of people as well on the green space. They had a setup of a stage, and it started around, this whole thing started at 11 a.m. The speakers got on the stage around 12. So that had a big group there, and then that kind of dispersed closer to the street as now you're seeing the actual protest go on. Lots of signs there. A little bit of some cuss words, as you can see in some of those signs. But people are really fired up. There's been a lot of decisions made by the Trump administration in the last 9 months since he's taken his second term in office. And a lot of people are just not happy about it, as you can see here. Lots of people talking about the immigrant communities that are being targeted with birthright citizenship talk and ICE and the detentions and deportation. So we heard a lot from the Jose Salazar with the Collective Good Immigrant Pantry, who was talking specifically about immigrant communities that he faces in Memphis and manages and helps daily. He's part of this pantry that delivers food and essential items to families impacted by federal raids and detentions. They were asking for protesters to bring supplies to help their cause. There was also Moms for Gaza, had representatives there that I thought had really powerful statements about how they were supposed to comfort their kids during the war in Gaza when their kids are starving, or kids who are injured by airstrikes, and really making people kind of put themselves in those mothers' shoes in the way that they described just all of the hurt and the despair out there. And one of the women talked about really paying attention to taxpayer dollars and how Tennessee elected leaders have developments of military weapons being made in Tennessee, and just really putting a focus on people wanting to keep people informed, engaged, getting involved in various groups, getting out and voting, just a lot of talk around wanting change. So we are here now on the street, as you can see, people lining the street of South Highland and Poplar and East Memphis, and they're going to be out there until at least 3 o'clock. We're told 3 o'clock is when the end of this protest will be. It started at 11, so they got out there pretty early, and thousands of people. This is happening nationwide. We had some looks into New York and D.C., where big groups were gathering around in Central Park, and then in D.C. near the White House. Lots of people just protesting no kings and basically likening the Trump administration to British monarchs, and that the founders rebelled against to found the United States. So millions of Americans are out today just making sure their voices are heard in these demonstrations with flags and signs. And we have Shakina Davis out there talking to protesters that will be in our later newscasts. The speakers of today for Memphis, out in East Memphis, District Attorney Steve Morroy kicked off all of the speeches, and then we heard from Free the 901. That group was able to tell us that General Sessions Court Clerk Tammy Sawyer decided not to speak today. She's wanted to have more of a priority on safety, since she reportedly has been getting death threats. The Moms for Gaza group I just spoke about, the City Councilwoman Jerry Green was also on the list. There's Representative Justin Pearson wrapped it all up. There was also Latino community leader and political activist Richard Massey, as well as Jose Salazar with the Collective Good Immigrant Pantry. But Representative Pearson pulled out a pamphlet that had the Declaration of Independence words in it, if not the whole thing in there. And he was saying we need to reclaim those words and basically just language around everybody's created equal, and we need to get back to that. So very passionate, encouraging language around our elected leaders in front of the crowd today on Poplar and South Highland in that green space. So we are going to sit on this protest for a while longer. It's 2:21, so there's about 40 minutes. We're going to actually go back out to Shekinah if we can, and so that she can give us a little bit more of a lay of the land. We're seeing this corner here, but we know that it expands more, that you can almost see people for as far as the eye can see in this shot. Lots of people out there. So if Shekinah Davis is reporting for us on the ground, if we can hear her, if she can hear us, she can tell us a little bit more of what exactly people are motivated to come out today. It's a display of a lot of people. We're seeing people of all different genders, races, ages. It's a family-friendly event. People have brought their dogs out. People have been in costumes. We saw an inflatable costume of a dinosaur walking around. It's been a very big showing and lots of effort. But as you can see, this protester here is speaking, so we're going to go and listen into what she has to say.
Criminals, we're just trying to have a peaceful life out here.
Oh, awesome, man. Nice to meet you. What was your name? Yeah. You can text me your name. I'm gonna have the contact information.
And as you just heard, these thousands of people chanting, still taking on this fight by standing out and protesting here on South Highland Street and Poplar in Memphis. I'm getting ready to speak with one of the organizers of the chants. If you don't mind just saying your first and last name for me.
Yeah, my name is Adam Saleh, and I'm from Palestine. I'm a Memphis-born Palestinian.
Do you mind just explaining the call and responses that you are doing? What exactly does those mean to you all?
Yeah, so a few of those call-in responses, one of them being if immigrants are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. That's one of them. These call-in responses are very important for us to express our disdain with the occupation here in Memphis City, and also our disdain with what's happening in Gaza by Trump and Netanyahu. Yes, there was a ceasefire, and I'm sorry to go off track a little bit, but yes, there was a ceasefire, but still there is people starving in Gaza. And here in the city, there are immigrants whose homes are being broken into by ICE. So we're here to fight back against that and show our power and show that we are a threat if you do not listen to us as politicians. To the politicians, we are a threat to you. If you do not listen to us and you do not compromise with us, we will make your life hell. So that's the message we're trying to say.
And how long do you expect these protests to continue, or how long personally would you continue to fight and stand up?
As a Palestinian, I'll try to stick with the cause as long as I can go, and honestly, as long as I live. These protests will probably be going on all across the year. As long as National Guard is here, we will stay here. We will be on these streets protesting, telling our politicians that we need National Guard out of this city. So that's as long as I'll go.
And anything you like to say to anyone out there, any of the other protesters?
I will just say to the other protesters, we gotta stand strong. We are resistance fighters. I'm a Palestinian. In my homeland, in my village, there's a base atop my village mound where they break in just like ICE, and they oppress us just like ICE does. And I want you all to know that we are all united. We have solidarity in this. Immigrants, Palestinians, black people, everybody. We got unity in this, and we're gonna stand together. Let's stand tall.
Thank you so much. And you heard it there, one protester just expressing how he just felt. Now, we have heard and seen, of course, some of city leaders who were out here as well, standing up, speaking out regarding today's protest. It looks like they will continue. It looks like people aren't leaving just yet. There's still hundreds, it looks like, of protesters here just continuing to stand up, continue to hold up their signs, continue to fight for what they believe in today here in Memphis. I believe that's all of what we're seeing right now. It hasn't died down just yet, but the people are still out here protesting. Back, Shekinah here in Memphis. Back to you.
All right, Shakina, we'll leave you to it to talk to more people as you will have a report for us later on in our newscast. But yes, a very active day out there in East Memphis. As you can see, lots of people really showing up for the cause. It's the No Kings protest. It's happening nationwide. It happened 4 months ago for the first time. 5 million Americans showed out in this demonstration, and now it's happening for the second time. And it's really about protesting against authoritarian power and military occupation in U.S. cities that many feel the Trump administration has carried out since his second term in these 9 months. We saw a lot of people take the stage today, several local leaders as well as activists really talking to organizing and staying informed and getting registered to vote, and really encouraging people that the power of the people is more powerful than one person. And we are seeing this happen across the country. So we have a live look at D.C. and New York and Chicago. This is the No Kings protest in Chicago as people are actually on the streets walking here. And this is one of 2,500 planned marches across the country, separate marches and rallies taking place right now today. 5 million Americans showed out 4 months ago when the No Kings protest happened for the first time. And we're seeing this just a short time later, 4 months later today. Americans are really showing out and demonstrating in this way. So the streets of Chicago are seeing quite a big turnout there. Thousands, as you can see, similar to Memphis. They have signs, they have the American flag, and people really feeling inclined to make sure that the people of America, Americans, are being heard during this time. We also had live looks in D.C. and New York as well. Lots of people, again, just thousands gathered together for this very same message. As I can see, maybe in this shot is similar to what we're seeing here in Memphis. It's people from all different backgrounds. It's age. The age range is young and old and in between, and we're seeing lots of different races and people with their families, people dressed up, people getting in costumes, lots of people talking about the immigrant communities being targeted here. A lot of people talking about racial profiling with the military occupation as well. So this is in Chicago. We are going to kind of leave this here to see how their protest continues, as they're actually seeing a lot more movement here. And we'll be back with updates as the Memphis protest closes out in about 30 minutes. All right, we've continued our live coverage on the No Kings protest here in Memphis, and it is wrapping up in about 15 minutes. It's happening across the country, the No Kings protest. It's protesting against authoritarian power and military occupation in U.S. cities, and it's happening all across the country. Here in Memphis, it was in East Memphis at the corner of Poplar and South Highland Street. We just had a live look at it. We're going to get one more wrap up with our reporter Shakina Davis, who's been reporting on the ground, talking to protesters. But it's been a very event-filled day. I mean, it was thousands of people who came out to East Memphis to protest against authoritarian power and military occupation, as well as a lot of different reasons. Immigration was mentioned, racial profiling as well. We talked to a Palestinian man as well who shared his thoughts. So lots of diversity out there, young, old, all races, families, people dressing up in costumes. We did have speakers as well. There were speakers out there, and District Attorney Steve Mulroy kicked it off. It ended with Representative Justin Pearson, and we heard from advocacy groups. Moms for Gaza as well spoke. There was a Free the 901. We were told by the organizer from Free the 901 that General Sessions Clerk Tammy Sawyer could not make it. She was prioritizing her safety. She's reportedly received death threats. So she was originally on the list, but she did not speak. Councilwoman Jerry Green was also on the list. The MC, LJ Abraham, is a Memphis activist. She started off with her opening speech and then also closed out the entire, all of the speeches. So that started around 12. People have been out there since 11. The speeches started at 12, and then they wrapped up around 1:30, and now the protest is winding down now that we're reaching the 3 o'clock hour. But lots of people out there. District Attorney Mulroy was really harping on the Trump administration and how he said Trump was attacking Congress, the courts, states, and the Constitution. And Mulroy went on to really encourage people to galvanize, publicize, and organize and get involved with groups like the ACLU as well as Indivisible Memphis. Now, Indivisible Memphis is the group that did organize the No Kings protest here today and in East Memphis off of Poplar and South Highland. And then Representative Pearson really wrapped it up by pulling out a pamphlet that seemed to have the Declaration of Independence wording on it, and saying that it's time to reclaim those words, and the power of the people is stronger than just the power of one person, and went on to mention that people do need to get involved and engaged and get out there and vote and really effectively make change. He also brought up profiling concerns with the Memphis Safe Task Force and the National Guard in town. People have been concerned about profiling and pretextual traffic stops, stopping for someone for a minor offense with the intention to look for something major. And so he brought up those, and that there's a group of lawmakers who are suing Governor Bill Lee for the deployment of guards, the National Guard, to Memphis. So we are going to get one more live look with our reporter Shakina Davis as she sets up and kind of putting a cap on everything that we've seen in the last few hours since this began at 11 a.m. We saw people lining the street along South Highland and Poplar with signs. People were dressed up in costumes, lots of American flags out there. We saw similar sights to be seen in Chicago and New York and D.C., where thousands are gathering in various places there in D.C. It was near the White House, and this is Chicago in the streets. They were moving on the street, and now it seems that they've stopped there. But signs, as you can see, American flags, people from all different backgrounds joining together. And when this first happened 4 months ago in mid-June, there was 5 million Americans who came out and demonstrated in this way. Today, there's over 2,500 separate marches and rallies planned across the country. And 4 months later, District Attorney Steve Mulroy said in Memphis that he saw a bigger turnout this time than he did last time. Jose Salazar with the Collective Good Immigrant Pantry also spoke on the stand. Half of his speech was in Spanish, and then he also spoke in English and really talked about the immigrant community and how they've been affected by the ICE raids and detentions. And he is part of the Good Collective Good Immigrant Pantry, and what they do is they deliver food and essential items to families that are impacted by these federal raids and detentions. They were also asking for people who showed up to participate to donate non-perishable food, hygiene products, and household supplies. But this is a look inside Chicago protest as we continue to look across the country. But we're going to bring it back here in Memphis, in East Memphis, where our Shakina Davis has been reporting all this entire time for the last few hours. So Shakina, give us a little bit of a wrap of what you've seen when you got out there and just how everything flowed since and why people were motivated to get out today.
We're here still on South Highland Street and Poplar, where thousands of people have gathered today. Behind me, you can see that it is starting to die down just a little bit. There's still hundreds, from what we can tell, of people just out here still lining the streets, protesting, holding up their signs, just really expressing how they feel about today's protests and why they are out here fighting. May I speak to some of you here? Do you mind just explaining just how today's protests has went for you, why you came out, and then the turnout, and then just seeing just how everyone went?
Absolutely, yeah, thank you. So we're here today, my friend Zoe, I'm Rebecca. We're here because both of us come from multiracial backgrounds, and this country would not be possible if our parents didn't make the sacrifices they did to come to this nation. And we need to speak up for people who can't. There are a lot of people in our community who don't feel safe to come out. And as American-born citizens, I think we have that privilege and power that we get to exercise. And everyone's been kind and peaceful. And that's what's important, is just exercising that constitutional right and saying, hey, it matters that we're here. It matters that we have a voice. And look at everyone coming together. It's so exciting.
It's beautiful, right?
Yes.
And as the protest is wrapping up now, it seems, what are your takeaway thoughts from today?
It's exciting. It feels really good to be in a Southern community where we see people standing up for themselves, where we see people coming together, and I think this is a good energy to carry on as we reach, more local elections, more wide-level national elections, to remember that we have each other to depend on, and we are not going to let this country be taken over by somebody who wants to strip us of our rights and our freedoms. We're here to stand up together beyond 3 p.m. today. It goes beyond this. Even when we leave home, this energy stays. Leave and go home, this energy stays with us.
I think it also it reinforces the idea to not give in to the fear, really, because I feel like a lot of the times people run into that problem, especially like if it's all the common people, like you feel like you don't have a voice, but stuff like this really just shows that we all have free will. We all have that power to just kind of step out, even if it's a post. Like, I know I try to post everything on Instagram, everything like that. So it's just reinforcing people to kind of come together and know that it's way stronger than anybody can imagine. So
yeah, this is exciting. I love it. Thank you for being here and covering this. It's important. And it's important that people see, I think it's really divisive right now, it's important that people see that it's not me versus you, it's us coming together, it's us protecting each other as brothers and sisters. Our nation was founded on freedom. Why not maintain that? Why not do everything we can while we can to speak up and still exercise our power?
Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time and just your Shakina with ABC 24.
Nice to talk to you.
No problem. Nice talking to you too.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And as you heard from more protesters, they're just continue their fight. As you heard them say, it doesn't stop here after 3 p.m. today. It continues on until however long it takes for them to receive what they also are saying, justice here regarding their rights and regarding the Constitution here. So as you can see, again, people just holding up their signs. They're going to continue to do this, I believe, all the way until 3 p.m. today. And as they continue to wrap up, it is starting to die down a bit. But as they were saying, the fight continues for them beyond just today. Shakina Davis here in Memphis. Back to you.
Shakina, thank you. Excellent job reporting there. We'll have more from all the people Shakina spoke with on our newscasts at 6 and later on this evening. It's been a big active day in East Memphis. Lots of people coming out for the No Kings protest that is happening nationwide. We're seeing this across all the country. We saw some demonstrations live from Chicago, from D.C., from New York. Here you are looking at the one in, I believe, Chicago and we're seeing American flags similar to Memphis, where lots of signs and flags and costumes and people dressed up and people from all different backgrounds, people really showing their specific fight. There you see immigration related. So it's just been a big showing across the country, No Kings, and it's against authoritarian power and military occupation. A lot of people also mentioned the war in Gaza and just how the dealings and how that is handled, even though we are in a ceasefire, just the hundreds of thousands of people who lost their lives and how that's affected families as well. Lots of people talking about racial profiling concerns around military occupation, particularly in Memphis. That was Representative Justin Pearson's note. A lot of saying about that, saying pretextual traffic stops and racial profiling of the task force. But just overall, a very big, passionate showing. We had DA Steve Mulroy, District Attorney Steve Mulroy, kicked it off in Memphis. But we're seeing just large crowds gathering for the No Kings protest. The one in Memphis is wrapping up at 3, but you saw a lot of people are still out on South Highland and Poplar, so they might stand out there for a little while longer. Here is one gentleman with his flag. This is back in Memphis, here on East Memphis on South Highland and Poplar, as we said, and lots of tents, people staked out. This is the second No Kings protest. The first one was 4 months ago in June. And District Attorney Mulroy said more people showed up to this one than they did last time. And lots of people just passionate about fighting back against authoritarian power and military occupation, particularly under the Trump administration in his second term here in office, 9 months in. So we are going to hold on this shot for you. You can watch it all the way through to 3 o'clock, and if not even, maybe even longer, as people are making their way out of the demonstrations here. But it has been an active day in Memphis. Thank you for watching 24 Plus. We are going to keep you updated, and we will have more on ABC 24 on our newscasts at 6 and throughout the evening about the No Kings protest.